Uber and Lyft safety bill round 2 in Colorado. Gig apps spending like as if they have money. Stock performance of gig app platforms, autonomous reality and cost, and fraudulent accounts, and more on the other side.
Well, midnight headlight, blindly on a rain night, Steve laid up ahead, slowing down and making no time. I gotta keep it rolling. Those windshield wipers slapping out the tempo, breaking from the rhythm with the song on the radio.
I have glitchy thing going. I'm gonna refresh you guys. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna just see if the refresh does it. Here. And I just leave Vinny here on his own. What the hell? Where am I? Not even here, dude. My thing's frozen. I'm black screened. For real?
Greetings from South Florida. Welcome to the Rideshare Rodeo.
God damn. Hold on, you guys. I'll get it right here because this is then I'm gonna explain what happened too.
I feel like I should have like a cane and a top hat and doing the dance till Steve gets back. I don't even know if I'm on the show. Yeah, I see me. I'm right there.
Well, it's still black screen.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm doing my best dance, trying to keep everybody entertained.
It's not. Come on, dude. I am so sorry, guys. You got to let me crash this hard, I guess. Damn it.
It's my fault. Sorry, Steve. I don't know what I did, but it's my fault. Some kind of way, it'll be my fault. I know it. I don't know what to do here. I honestly and truthfully don't know what to do here. But Steve will be back momentarily. I can go back to doing the dance.
Oh my God!
There he is. Thank God.
It might be working.
I was
4 seconds, you guys. This is StreamYard issue. We'll see if we have a little time to dog on StreamYard today. I think it's because they actually gave me a year for free, and that's a long story because I was really giving them some crap about a lot of things. But maybe they're taking that out and throttling me. I don't know. Regardless, let's just pick it right back up where I am because this is episode 572, and I'm a professional.
Whew, 572. God dang.
Welcome to the Rideshare Rodeo, everybody. This week, I'm stoked to have Vinny Coos with me. Vinny's on every once in a while. So if you guys aren't familiar with Vinny, stick around. You'll get to know him here soon. But yeah, Vinny used to have Rideshare Garage. Now he's got his off the clock thing going. So check out his channel. He still has his hand in the gig game, but I know he's content wise. I've sat in with him on his show, and I know he's looking for the content part of it, kind of more step away, at least on some things. I don't know how to work that properly. You've got a bunch of projects going on. But Vinny, welcome. How are you?
I appreciate it, Mr. Steve. Thank you. And yep, like you said, I'm trying. Word of the day: detach.
Yeah. I could feel your energy when we were backstage. It was the same energy I had today. I was like,
it's I'm telling you, we're
yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's gonna
Yeah. So lots of topics tonight. Hey everybody in the chat, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing in here? We got Gil, we got Kevin, Derek. Everything's moving at a weird speed. Richie Hustles, we got Bubba Sue, Traveler, Lisa, Rick, Torp, Counting Tom, and I saw a comment from Tom that was when I was trying to come back. Steve is darker than me.
God damn it, Tom! God damn it, Thomas! You know he does that, man. I'm telling you, man. When we do our little thing on Wednesday night, Thomas always has. It's a different type of mocha joke. No matter how you look at it, it's son of Darth Vader, darker than Vader. It just absolutely blows me away, bro. He's awesome. He's awesome. Y'all check him out too. Tom.
I agree. Tom's awesome, but he doesn't strike you as the guy that would do that stuff.
No, that's the thing. Like, right? He's calm, cool, collected, man. You know what they said? He's like the other side of the pillow, the cool side of the pillow.
Right.
You know? And then you get to talking to him, and it's like, oh, okay, he's one of those guys. Okay, yeah. All right. Jokes for days, baby. Jokes for days.
So, part of the I guess the flow for tonight, because for the podcast, I've been going a lot more for flow lately. And why I wanted Vinny here for some of this is that one of the things Vinny does outside of gig apps, if you guys are not familiar, is stocks. And I don't know how long you've been doing it. I do know that you have a decent handle on it, because when I pop in there, I don't do much trading. As many things as I have my hand in, I don't do much trading. So it looks like you have a good understanding of what's going on. And we all know that the markets in general have been down. I mean, or underperform. I don't know exactly which term would be more correct, but propped up, underperforming. Things just aren't necessarily as they seem, and people aren't going wild.
That is the best way to put it. Things aren't as they look. Things aren't as they seem. I am not by any way, shape, or form any type of a guru, genius, or that. I just know what I know, and I know what's worked for me. Sure. And so I know what's working for me. And but one thing's for sure, like it just basic econ 101, bro. If they're telling you things are skyrocketing and nobody can afford this, and how we're going to pay our lights and food and da-da-da. But on the other hand, brand new record high, like somebody's lying to somebody.
I know. And I mean, it's like whenever there's a war, did everybody move their money into $50 barrels of WTI crude before it went up to $90?
$90, 105 today, babe.
Right. Well, I mean, last I checked, it was 90 something. My point is, like, it averages in the 50s.
Yes. Yeah.
On the norm against Brent crude, which is
I mean, go back and look at what Trump called Liberation Day, when the day he slammed all the tariffs on everybody. Right, the market corrected like 7-8%, whatever the number was. Right, because I didn't pay attention, because I knew what was going to happen. Not that I'm a Nostradamus or nothing. I'm just a goddamn dumbass retired Uber driver. But when you see the market slash down like this, and it's not war related, you can best believe it's going to slash right back up. It's called a V-shaped recovery, and that's exact. And it's been riding high ever since. When we went into Iran and we started banging on Iran, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened a couple of days later? Even with oil at $100+ a barrel, we're still at all-time highs.
Oh yeah.
Like somebody's lying to somebody.
Yeah.
I just don't know who.
Yeah. And where are these imaginary stocks that are putting it so much over the top when you're looking at the big numbers? So
you look at, it used to be called the FANG. Now it's the magnificent. God dang it, Vinny, get right. 7, you know, and out of those 7, I mean, you know, you're talking the Google and the Apple and Netflix and Nvidia. You know, Nvidia's the daddy, bro. Listen, not for nothing. How Nvidia goes, the stock market goes.
Yeah.
Without question. Without question. I'm not talking about a 1-day move or a 2-day move. I'm talking about if Nvidia rolls, right? She was just at 210, 212 the other day. I think today was down like 197, 200, somewhere around in there. If that rolls, Steve, people better grab their 401ks real quick and better squeeze the shit out of them. Hold on as tight as you can, because if Nvidia goes, Nvidia goes, all AI goes. That's,
you know, I know you and I have talked fairly in depth the last time I was on off the clock with you, which every night, it's every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, guys, on Vinny's channel, by the way. But when we last were talking about, we were talking about some YouTube stuff, but we were also talking about, you know, just let's start here and see where this takes us, because I want to talk about this Colorado bill, because we had this exact Colorado bill last year. Now, you know, we have the transparency bills; those passed, right? Those passed; those went into law. Uber did their thing, you know, and so 2024 summer was when the TNC and the DNC transparency laws passed to go into effect for the DNC on January 1st of 2025, for the TNC on February 1st of 2025. So we both have been over a year in action now. And they work. But we had another bill that got proposed by Jenny Wilford, who is a House member here in Colorado, and she had been sexually assaulted. Now,
I remember hearing about that.
The last bill, it's really strange, because the more I'm reading on this, the different perspectives I'm getting, like, it's very, even though I hated that bill the first time around. Okay. It was horrible because it meant Uber and Lyft were going to put a camera in your car. Most people I know have a dash cam. I have 2. Mine has a rear view one that's a clamp on that I'm always running, but I also have a display ride that uploads to the cloud. So I got 2 going. I don't need a third one that says a black box that says Uber, because I've already said this before. We know damn well when they say they need to audit or pull a piece of footage, we need this piece of footage from this driver on this date. It's going to be corrupt, missing. The angle's going to be wrong. Like, you better have your own setup. And so my whole thing with it was, why is the law trying to push in a camera into my car and is there going to be a place they're going to tell me it has to be? Because until it passed, you wouldn't know how this would actually look. And it didn't describe it. If passed, it'll go here. Like, of course, that kind of thing wasn't said, but I was just kind of wondering, like, are you guys just going to allow the driver to install this? What is going on? Are you going to, you know? And so this time, though, it's a little bit different. And I would say, even from, listen, I'm not a Jenny Wilford fan. In fact, we made jokes about her the last Thursday. Sean and I were talking about her. I called the segment Wilford Brimley. I don't even know how we got there, but then I'm reading this new article, because I've been reading a ton on them, and this one isn't really mentioning the cameras. I don't even know if they're in it this time. Now, I'm not saying I'm for it, because this is a dangerous road to go down, because Uber had put out the warning they'd leave. Vinny, you and I have talked about Prop 22. If they hadn't got Prop 22 on the ballot, there's still to this day a lot of people used to not believe this, but almost everybody does now. I've talked to several, and they now know, because of what Prop 22 has became the joke it is. But Uber would have left. Like, at the end of January, it came down to, like, I don't know how many people remember this. I know that every once in a while I bring it up, but it was 11:50 something at night, and it was supposed to be midnight going into February, that they were due all of the January. They had to submit all drivers as employees February 1st.
Right. I remember that.
And they were like, no, we'll just, at midnight, we will turn everything off, and we will no longer offer rides unless we're allowed to get on the November ballot. And so they gave them a stay of execution. The state of California thought, no way, this, whatever they come up with, which became Prop 22 to
Right.
counter AB5. But they thought, no way this will go into effect. Uber's not going to be able to get our people on board. But it was pretty easy for them in all reality. They won by 60% and by like 7 million votes or something, because if you take Uber out of any ecosystem, it's not, I've had people tell me, well, then the taxis would just bounce back. And no, man, Uber, the disruptor thing is truer than most, I think, even recognize. And now they've disrupted. That's the biggest problem. So if you remove that, as crappy as the drivers might get paid, as crappy as the customers are paying triple and being treated, not getting the nice clean cars like we used to provide for them, because it's just people. I mean, if you can get an Uber X for nothing, why are you going to clean the car at the end of the day? So all this is going on, and so the new plan, here's the part where I can kind of get on board with what she's saying. So she's saying the companies move human beings around every single day. We regulate taxis, we regulate buses, we regulate airlines, not because we want punitive to be punitive or punish those industries, but because when people get into a vehicle or they get on a plane, they should be able to trust that there are basic enforceable standards in place. I don't mind that comment. I think it's fairly
That's
makes
fair.
sense to me. I mean, as we go deeper, it's not, but she was the one that pushed this last year. Last year was very much focused on the dash cam. And that's why I think it's kind of strange, because now and last year it did pass all of the House, Senate, everybody passed. Polis vetoed it. And our governor is one of the worst in the country. So like for him to veto this, he really did understand. It wasn't just money that's being brought in by Uber. He really understood Uber would leave. He really did understand that. Well, and I do, for the people that don't think it would happen, I would say that if you don't believe Uber would leave, of course they would, because you'll be begging them to come back and it'll be on their terms.
Mm-hmm.
They know they're not closing house and leaving for good. They know they're leaving for like a week or two.
All you got to do is ask Austin. Ask Austin, Texas.
Right. Yeah.
And Uber wasn't even ingrained into the ecosystem the way it is now. Just at that time, Uber didn't have government contracts, didn't have obligations with healthcare services and things like that. And so.
And I go to Austin a decent amount. To be honest, when I first started going there and working with Para, I had no idea that like Austin isn't the biggest town. It's not Dallas or Houston or something. It's
like a mini New Orleans. It's like a southern New Orleans.
Right. So, I mean, like and it was Lyft too. All those were banned. And actually there was a lot of fake autonomous at that time that you're talking about too, that and startup companies like Trip and some of these other ones that this was their opportunity. They couldn't make it work.
Correct.
So you kick them out, you're going to face a big problem, and they know that just puts them back into the seat. So it is said here, right?
For now,
it is, but it is said here that they changed this a little bit, but they said that Polis has already said that he won't veto this time around. He's given them a guarantee, which I find weird. You shouldn't be doing that when something's going to a vote. Shouldn't be promising people something when you're a governor. That's something you're supposed to decide in the moment, and you're not supposed to leak it out. But what they're saying now is that I'll just bring up the points, because it is a little bit different. It's not totally dash cam focused. Here it is. So the key provisions that they're trying to push, same bill, just changed 25 to 26 representing the year, but private background checks for drivers every 6 months, paid for by Uber, Lyft. Okay, first of all, what does that do? Because that's checker. 2 checker background checks are just still 2 checker background checks. They're going to suck. But also, checker doesn't do a good job. What is doing it every 6 months going to do?
Going to pay checker twice.
Right. And I mean, my thing is, like, if you really wanted this to mean something, say we will not be using checker once a year. We will be using this company, and for rideshare, you'll need to be fingerprinted.
There's only one on there that if I were a driver in Colorado, I'd be bothered by. There's only one on there that would bother me.
Which one?
And that's where drivers must opt into an audio video recording of a ride. That makes you an employee.
Okay.
You think about
no. See, that's where the wording gets tricky. So that last year, that was every driver must have a camera that is basically going at all times when the car's on even. So like even when you're non-trip, this actually, when it's saying what it's going to accomplish and that both opt in, I hear you, but here's the thing. It also has opt out. And if you opt out and the passenger hasn't opted in, you'll be placed with those people. So you're not being forced. I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's not, because it's going to, we all know what'll happen. It'll update the app and it'll opt you in. For us drivers, we can figure that out and go, well, I don't want to be in this. But for the customers, it's going to probably do the same for them. Auto opt you in, and they're going to be like, and they might not even know.
I think if you opt out, you'll be discriminated against and targeted and put into that bottom 10%. It'll be that, oh, we're that busy, we need you now type of situation. Because I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, it was a bad bill last year. It's a bad bill this year. I don't see where it says that you need to use Uber's dash cams though.
Oh, no, they don't have to. They don't have to.
Well,
they got your phone.
Last year on the bill, Uber had to not only right, but Uber had to buy a dash cam for every driver, and it was going to be installed in your car.
I understand that, but they don't have to do that now because they can make it part of terms of service that if you turn on the app, you have to let us record, and you have to give, because we already given permissions to the phone. Let me ask you a question, Steve. And not to cut you off there, but let me ask you a question. Do you think Uber's listening to your rides now without you knowing?
Yeah, but I don't think they want to, because it costs too much.
I don't know.
Do they have the ability? I think they have a switch that can listen to any one of us anytime. Period.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter. But they don't want to. They don't want to have teams of people or bots or AI having to run in the background.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say they do, 100% of the drivers 100% of the time, but say maybe it's a 4.7 driver that's had a report or something in the past. They might hit his ass without a visa. What do they got? FISA. They might FISA his ass a couple more than they would say the perfect 5.0 driver, because you're Steve Rideshare Rodeo. Perfecto.
But why not just let us opt in with our own dash cams? Like, do you have one? Take a picture, and I guess people could take pictures that are fake and stuff, but nonetheless, you'd be as an independent contractor saying you have the equipment.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you guys there in Colorado, like here in Florida, on my app, I'm constantly asked, hey, do you have a dash cam? Would you register it now for your own security?
No.
It's constantly asking me to register my dash cam. I'm like, how the hell do you even know I have a dash cam? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in the Tesla, I got the Tesla cam, and then I got my own dash cam. But if I wasn't running that secondary, but they're always asking.
Well, but then it gets funny too, because we're not employees. During tax time, they make this part very clear. They're just what I always call them, a dispatch company. They're handing you the client. The client's yours. So why would there be an Uber cam in my car anyway? Again, I go back to, I wouldn't want any of my data held by Uber. And not just do I not want them storing it, because again, like you said, they probably already have the ability to listen. They just, why would they? But I honestly believe that if the state started calling up, we need this date from this driver, this date from that driver, I think they'd be like, those files are all corrupted. I honestly think we'd be in a situation, not just with one, but with all of them, where they're like, we don't really keep that stuff, dude.
No, they're not required by law to keep those records, So
this would make it that way.
I like everything on there, except how do you protect the driver that doesn't want to opt in to the audio video recording of a ride? I mean, should a driver be opposed to that? I wouldn't think so. I mean, right? Because they're going to hit you with what do you have to hide? Are you sure you're the right driver? Now, Steve, if they turned around and said, we're going to use that audio and video to verify that the driver is actually the driver that's listed on the account, then they might have you.
Well, see, and that is part of this, though, is that this is part of what got added in. It was discussed last year, but it's a big part now, is that they're very aware. I've talked to the legislators out here many times, a lot of them, but they're very aware of the illegal accounts. They're very aware of the multiple phones. They're very aware of all the different scams going on. I even brought them up to date on the TikTok one. So everything is crazy, but they are saying that that this is also to like it. What are they really doing about it? I don't know, but at least they're making noise. One of the things I do find positive about this, because the rest isn't for me, but is that they are saying, listen, no more account sharing. And here's an example why. So the person who assaulted Jenny, the House member. Okay, so last year he was sentenced by a Denver judge. His name is John Mendoza. And he was sentenced to 290 years in prison for abducting and sexually assaulting women. Prosecutors said he waited outside bars and targeted women who appeared drunk, convincing them he was their driver, waiting for. He had done this many, many times. So he's now 290 years in jail. And and you are very aware, as everybody else is, about the sexual assault allegations. Mm-hmm. And even Uber on their chart of what the year was going to look like said, it was like this chart that was pretty. Here's the middle line. They were saying this might be down a little, this might be up a little. The legal cost in the middle was almost through the top of the chart. Mm-hmm. And I think that's even going to go up more, because here we go. This is what they said in court last Thursday. Somehow the sexual assault thing was brought up here in court. And between 2017 and 2022, Uber was asked to do a study or give data on how many sexual assault cases or even claims were made against the platform. Now, it might differ a little, but I'm sure they synced up somewhat. But so Uber reports back, this was nationwide, and or it might even be worldwide. I'm not sure. I don't have that actually in front of me, but Uber reported back that during 2017 to 2022, they had 12,500 reports during that time period. Now, the New York Times and Harvard and there was another study in here too, found that there are well over 400,000 from 2017 to 2022. So Uber took the number that it really is and divided it by about 30. I mean, it's what, it's like, let's look at polling, presidential polling. We all know that it's never right, but they're never that. I mean, sometimes maybe a few points off.
They're usually 2-3 points in.
Right, but one's not ever accurate. 30 times the other one.
No, Steve, it goes back to what I said in the beginning, bro. Somebody's lying to somebody. It's just the way it is. What gets me? What gets me is nobody has been able to get either Uber or Lyft or DoorDash, for that matter, Walmart, Spark. They haven't been able to get none of these companies in court and get them convicted. And
well, they did in Arizona just now with the first sexual assault case.
Okay, I'm not aware of that. I told you I've been detaching.
Okay, so that was about 2 months ago. They gave her $8 million, and Uber was accountable. They said, no, you're accountable. Absolutely accountable. Okay. Now that case, there's different levels of cases. I know that case had I don't know if it was how hard the complaints were or what, but the driver did have at least one other complaint for the same thing prior to what he did to her.
Oh, you mean arrested 30 times but let out so you can kill somebody on the 31st? Okay, all right, I get it.
Exactly. And then the second case just happened, and they didn't find it to be sexual assault. So the lady, this was in North Carolina, the lady claimed that she had her inner thigh touched by the driver. And so she said sexual assault, and it should have been probably, but nonetheless, the jury found that it was not sexual assault, but battery, I think is what they gave him for just touching her. And they did, and
I
again,
think
they didn't do the 8 million, but they did fine Uber $5,000. My point is you're seeing a pattern. We've only had 2 cases and Uber's had to pay in both.
Well, that's a good thing, because I mean, you talk about Teflon Don, Uber and Lyft are like untouchable. So that's like, for me, Steve, thank you for letting me know, because like I said, they just nobody. I'll always go back to Christina Spaguzzi, the female driver from Philadelphia,
Right.
who you know who I'm talking about. I don't want to say it, but and nobody. The guy was held accountable, but the app was never held accountable, even with the dash cam footage. It's still so. It's good to see that they're getting hammered in court, because that's the only way you're going to correct it. But I got a question for you. In that same number, and believe me, you know me, I don't defend I don't defend these apps. But what's the number for taxi drivers? Is it relative? Not that it matters, but is it relative? Do you think they have as many complaints against them that Uber drivers do? It's just a general question.
I think I would. Here's how I would answer it. No, and here's why. Because yes, it happened in taxi days, but you'd have to go, like, what year are we talking about? Because as the taxi industry died, the per capita of usage went all haywire. But I would also, so if yes, it happened in the taxi days, but I think we also live in a much different era, because we're seeing as many at least delivery assaults as rideshare assaults now.
That's what I mean.
I mean, like so in the 80s and 90s, how many Domino's drivers were assaulted? None.
Ton. Oh, bullshit. They were assaulted big time.
Really?
Robbed, stolen. Oh my God. Down here.
Nothing like this though. I mean, dude, we had a DoorDasher in your state that was setting down the food, and they were going to step back to take the picture, but the door opened, the guy pulled him in, and they chopped him up into 18 pieces.
Yeah, they chopped him up. That was up in north of Palm Beach. I remember. Here's the difference, Steve. Here's the difference. There's a difference between the 90s. Listen, in the 90s, what did we have? We had the freaking long beeper page where you had to go to the payphone to call in the answering service. Come on, you know this. This is the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, taxis still had the 2-way radio. You had a dispatcher.
Breaker.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, what would your answer have been on the taxi thing?
I think there's just as many. If we're going apples to apples, prior to Uber, there were probably just as many. Because they used to get all the drunk women or the drunk men. And so you had all of that there, but there was no recourse. There weren't dash cams. There weren't cell phones. There was no way of proving or disproving the assault unless there was like rape. Hell, we barely had DNA. So if it wasn't blood type, how did you know? It probably was. Now, well, I don't know, man. I
think I'm weighing in the psychological factor. And I think the psychological factor in 2026 is much worse than ever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's easy picking. It's easy to do now. It's easy to do.
Yeah, I mean, we won't point out exact people, but there are some people who can literally kill people and be out on the street again the next day.
It just happened in Chicago last weekend or the weekend before. Young lady had like 17 arrests. She carjacked a guy, killed him, and she was she was out on bail the next day. Unbelievable.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know. I got one of my buddies over there. I got 2 more of them over here,
Yeah, Derek says that he's had female passengers tell him about near misses with taxis back in the day. I'm sure there was. And Vinny pointed out a lot of the primary reasons are, what were you going to do about it? Not to be a jerk, but like if the taxi driver takes you out is starting to take you out in the middle of nowhere, or an Uber driver is, at least with an Uber, other than the late night crowd that might have passed out in the back of your car, if they're awake, they can be like texting people or 911 or whatever.
Well, and you also you can track the phones back 24, 48, 72 hours too. So I do put it on the
the passenger to do that because Uber's not going to do anything for you. All the safety features have always failed. Say my name, check the child lock, and
let me ask you a question, Steve. Do you do much rideshare at all? Or are you strictly into the delivery deal?
You know me, I've really moved into the B2B the last 3 years.
Okay.
Even. Like
maybe in the chat,
all that stuff. But I do catering, I do food delivery, and yeah, I still and I do it because I do like to try and find private clients. I wouldn't go out to try and make all my money on Uber.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is maybe in the chat, maybe the chat can answer the question. Like how many, when people come to your car before they get in, how many times do they really check your license plate?
Oh yeah.
Because I can tell you 1 out of every 50 might check my plate. And when I get the young women, the young girls, college girls or whatever, even the teens, because I'll do premier, y'all know I do premier rides, but I do premier teen rides. And
Yeah.
I haven't had a problem on any of those yet. But you know what? As soon as I get in the car, I always look at it and say, listen, check the tag, check the tag, check the tag. It's amazing. Everything you're talking about, Steve, everything everybody's talking about in the chat, bro, they're still not checking tags.
Yeah. No. And I've said this, somebody commented on that 13 I do on the weekend. So I did 13 this weekend on this topic, and I was saying how I thought, like, we have all these stupid ideas we've tried. Uber's tried 20 things for safety and none of them have worked. Samantha got killed, and say my name, and all these campaigns are just PR things, and they're just waste of money. And it's almost like we can, and it's not just because of their failed track record, but we can almost say it's not going to work like as soon as you tell us the idea. But over in London, since 10 years ago, you have to go to where the black cabs go, the cabs go, the limos go, everywhere. They have to go to school. The black cabs have to go to school for 3 to 4 years, I think. Those are the ones that have to know the city inside and out. You have to know every single piece of history, all that stuff. But the rideshare drivers have to go through a crash course for a week. When you're done, you get a lanyard. You have a number, and there's an RF reader in it. So when you get up to the phone, or when you get up to the car, the Uber app literally says, this is your driver. And then on your app, it shows you his picture and says his name.
That's phenomenal.
So I'm always thinking, what the hell are we not doing this for? Now, I had somebody in the comments going, I'm not down with that because that means that, and I was thinking, and he made a couple points, but I guess what I'm saying is I don't see it that way because we've done all these horrible things. Try this. You have it working in another country. And I know they don't have the gun issues and other things, but a lot of bad things happen in Europe too.
They got machetes, knives, baseball bats, pipes. They got enough.
But my point is it doesn't, just because it's Europe doesn't mean you're out of danger. And they have this in place for a reason. If you're leaving a pub, whatever, you pull it out. You can walk up to the car and it says, this is your car. This is your driver.
But Steve, my picture is right there in their app. My car is in their app. When they walk up, what you're referencing, they have all that info.
Except for I've seen what people sent me. When you walked up and it said, yep, this is your car, you get a full screen picture of them.
Right.
And it says their first name underneath it, which you already should know. But now you get a bigger picture of it and their name. So that means they have their reader on. That means they're well,
you can do that. You can do that just with a proximity. You don't need an RF reader. You just need the GPS just has to tag in to the proximity.
I think the RF reader and the lanyard is to keep it separate from the phone, because a lot of these phones are, that's something that I wanted to bring up here, the fraudulent accounts going on.
You know what? Yeah. Okay.
So with all that happening, and it is going on in the UK as well, just as heavy.
Yeah, and that makes sense. The whole, now the lanyard makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, because you got to separate it from the phone, and the RF reader, to some and maybe even to you, it sounded a little dated or something like, well, but your phone can do that. Yeah, but we don't want your phone to do that.
Right. No,
you could be sharing that phone with 6 other people.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
you could. This could just be a bad idea, but that's an idea, and that's a low cost idea too.
It would probably be cheaper to do that here in America than it was for the Uber beacons.
Yeah.
You know, I still have the original round Uber beacon.
Yeah, me
Right.
too.
It doesn't lock into my phone. It still locks into Apple phones, but won't lock into Android phones. Yeah, the tampon, the pink tampon. Yeah. Yeah, I gave that to my buddy Richie Hustles. It doesn't work anymore. I think he used it.
So, but I mean, like, yeah, it would cost nothing. Also, they get fingerprinted during this. This isn't food delivery.
Right.
This is just rideshare. But then I wanted to discuss this real quick, this fraudulent accounts. I've been through this before, but again, you said you've been out of this for a minute. So I wanted to bring this up and see what you knew, because I used to hate Instacart. I used to think they were the worst company ever because of their bot system. I've always wondered if Maple Bear, which owns Instacart, also owns the bot companies that grab those orders. And it's another company under the Maple Bear thing, because they've always treated it like that. So I always had this thing where you can't do good on Instacart. And then I've had people tell me, well, if you do the bots, you do. But I found out the price on the bots. I won't get into that. But that was wherever you would tag, I'm not getting good Instacart orders or Instacart anywhere on any platform. It would say, go see this handle on Instagram. For some reason, the bots were all done through Instagram. Now, the last couple of years, fake accounts are leased or sold on DoorDash, on Uber, on Lyft, on Amazon Flex, on all of them through Facebook Marketplace. They have been for a while. Now, TikTok is doing live streams. And I mean, Luis and I have been looking into this. There's hundreds, if not thousands of people doing this. And they sell 5, 6, 7, 900 a night. They'll get on a live stream and they're like, and it says, it'll have a board up behind them that says Amazon Flex and DoorDash, and it'll have the cities that they have. So you'll see like Detroit, and you'll be like, yeah, I'll take an Amazon or a DoorDash for Detroit. And the guy will be like, we're all out of Detroit's, but I have an Akron, Ohio. And with DoorDash, you can change the location after. So, and you're buying it in real time on these streams, and they're activating you in real time. And they're actually slipping your picture in too. I had the CEO from Incognia on here who was trying to explain that this is all doable. This is all doable with fraudulent behavior.
AI is something else, man. AI is something else. People I don't think they understand the power of AI. And it's still an embryo, man. AI is nothing.
Yeah.
But Eddie from Austin, Driving in Style. Most people would know him as Driving in Style. He's Eddie's Hustle now, all one word. Dude, he used to call Uber, right? Because he would call me. And bro, I found all these accounts on right, and he was losing his shit, but he had a right to lose his shit because Austin drivers have been hurt the worst.
Oh yeah,
right. There's nobody getting hurt more than the Austin drivers.
No, there's a driver. There's a hearing for Waymo this week. I think it's this week, or else it was late last week. There's a hearing for Waymo in Austin. It has to do with them still not being corrected on the school bus thing.
Right.
This is how it was based on. Okay, so it's a city council and other government member board that's meeting with Waymo. Waymo contacted them and said, we will not be there. It's only for Waymo. It's only for Waymo.
And Waymo's refusing to show up.
Yeah, Waymo just said we're not gonna come to that.
So they're gonna let him keep operating?
This all stuff always blows my mind. To me, like, that's not even a second thought. You're gone.
I mean, unless
if you can't show up, you're gone. If we can't have a talk, you're gone.
You know what I mean by Oprah, right?
Yeah.
You know how Oprah is, right? Here's a check for you, and here's a check for you, and here's a check for you. Here's a check for you. I mean, wow, that's balls, bro.
Yeah,
that's balls.
And I mean, and they didn't do what a lot of gig companies do and wait till that last minute. As soon as they got the notice, Waymo said we won't be there. And
that's one of the. Well, I guess we'll get into that, and when we get into that section of it. But somebody says, "Why blame Waymo running school bus signals? People do it all the time." Yeah, I still don't make it right.
Yeah, but okay, but Roy, here's the one issue, and we'll get into this because there is one change being made that's pretty cool on Waymo right now. But up until a week ago, up until this happened that we'll talk about, nowhere that Waymo operates can they get a ticket.
Well, that's changed.
That's changing. Yes.
It's changing.
But once they're driverless, like Arizona, California, their driverless vehicles cannot be ticketed.
We just had one pulled over last week here in Miami.
I know. I wanted to get into that with you too, and so I could hear about that because I know that one was doing its like knee-jerk reaction of that those boxy stops on the highway.
Right.
And the cop.
Well, the cop didn't stop him.
Damn it.
The cop didn't. He didn't stop. The car didn't stop for the cop. The car stopped because it couldn't go nowhere.
Yeah.
It's
not just school bus lights. There's something about emergency vehicles. Police hate them. Fire hates them. Like. There's something about emergency vehicles and lights that they're just like, I don't care.
Well, I can tell you, if you're ready to go into this, I can tell you my theory on flashing lights. You can take it for what it's worth. Anybody out there that's got a Tesla that has hardware 3 software, it's the speed of the light. So hear me out. School zones, that yellow light is a fast light. Right? It's a fast light to get your attention. But when you go by a fire station, it's a much slower light. So what is the car trained to do? Well, as it's approaching the signal, it sees the light change. And so if it sees that yellow hesitant, then it wants to jerk and stop. But if it's like flashing quick, the goddamn thing keeps goddamn going.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know.
Or if they all black out, they all stop.
No, that's Waymo. That's not my guys.
I know, but we had that happen though.
Oh yeah, California.
You would think that when the power goes out, they're programmed to safely drive back to base.
Who owns Google Maps? Who owns Waymo? How are they not?
Alphabet owns Waymo. Google owns Alphabet. Google owns Google Maps, and Google owns Waze.
So how I don't understand how that happened in California. Somebody got to explain that again, Steve. What I said at the beginning, somebody's lying to somebody.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and then that's where me. I followed this autonomous game for just too long, and it's not real. Even Derek comes out and says it's not real. He used to say the next year, almost as if even pre-pandemic, the next year we will be all driverless cars. He used to lie his ass off though. Now in 2025, 2026, he's saying, listen, maybe 20% of the rides in 10 years. 30%. I mean, and it might be moving a little quicker, but at least he's starting to get to some reality, because I think he happens to know that the plug could be pulled on him very quickly because things are starting to happen the other way now.
Well, listen, I'm not saying you're misguided. I'm not saying he's misguided, but I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot more autonomous vehicles on the road.
Oh yeah,
than human drivers working. Now, let me preface by saying that working, because what the autonomous vehicles can do, right, is they're going to be in that geofence. This is the thing I don't think people think about, Steve. When you go fill up your car, right? How many miles do you have on your car?
110 on this one. 110 on this one. Yeah.
Okay, so you get 110.
My last RAV4 was totaled. So.
Okay, so let's say you get 300 miles range on a tank of gas. Okay, on my Tesla gets 230 miles of range on a full charge. Okay.
Yep.
Yours isn't a real 300 mile range. Mine's not a real 230 range. The difference is, if I'm in stop and go traffic, my battery doesn't wear down as quick as your gasoline car does. That's number one. So that my car can keep working. So now if my car now is an autonomous vehicle and it's in a geofenced area, it's going to have to charge a lot less, and I can keep it moving from here to here to here to here, like a goddamn bus. Boom, 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 boom.
Sure.
You, me, and everybody in the chat that drives for a living, we're going to be the hybrid that takes them from the airport to Timbuktu, Egypt. That's the hybrid model. And Uber Black, Lyft Black. Those will not be autonomous vehicles. Those will be human drivers. But for everybody else, I hear from Eddie all the time, bro. Like,
no,
Eddie,
I mean, look, they're here.
There.
And here's some of the difference in our market. So I lived in Miami for a couple years when I was working for the laser company, but I'm out here now, and Waymos are everywhere, but they're those light purple. Everybody's a little different with their color. Some people say they're blue. I think they're like a light purple, but regardless, they're the not the Jaguars, they're the Odysseys. The Odysseys, like the minivan looking things.
Right.
And on the back and on the fronts, they have like 8 different cameras. I mean, right now what they're doing is going around detecting potholes.
Right.
And I think they're remapping Google Maps from a street view too.
Well,
these are the ones with drivers, and they don't have a permit to, even with drivers or without yet in Colorado, they don't have permits to take passengers. So they're just in their mapping phase.
Right.
The way that every state is following, I don't even know that this is anything they have to, but the way that they're following is every 6 months or after 6 months of mapping, you can apply to have a few cars go.
That's what they did here.
A lot of states aren't doing it. They're just getting to the 6 months and they're like,
Miami's got, I think there's maybe like 8 or 10 Waymos running around Miami now. Tesla's got 2 robo-taxis across the state in Naples and in Orlando. I think Waymo's in Orlando too. Here's the thing. It's going to scale so fast, but not from Waymo. Waymo's not the threat, bro.
No.
Amazon is not the threat to drivers. The threat is Tesla. That's the threat.
Well, and that's kind of part of what I was sending you yesterday, and like the madness of the stock. This is where I wanted your opinion on the stock. So this is probably a good time to build that in. Is that so? These stocks are, they're all doing poorly. Like every Thursday we do a 6-month chart on Instacart, DoorDash, Uber, and Lyft, and we just kind of like see where they're at and rank them fourth to first. In first has been Instacart. They're the ones, they're actually making money. Like Instacart, and again, it's SNAP benefits and it's other things. So it's not, is it mean it's a better platform for drivers? No. But I do think that there's been a change where bots used to be the big thing on Instacart. Now illegal accounts on every app are the big thing. So I think Instacart's back in the green a bit more. DoorDash is hemorrhaging money. They keep like pocketing up a little bit at times, but they're if you do 6 month chart on DoorDash, it was over 40. It's probably still over 30% down.
I'll tell you right now. I've got them. I pulled them up today specifically for you. I look at them every now and then. I don't look at them a lot. As of end of day today, they're still 38% down off the high from September of last year. They're 38% down. They're
right.
In an
and
area,
the original target was 500 when they launched. We all know that didn't happen. Moved to 3. Then it moved to 250. Then they moved it down to 210 recently. And now they moved it back to 250. So I know that maybe this is a more difficult question than just real simple, but when you look at that chart, what are you seeing as to why they think that's the target? Because I'm getting pretty pissed off at these companies all investing like, people used to say drop in the bucket. Nothing's a drop in the bucket to these companies anymore. The sexual assaults alone can prove that with Uber. They could potentially go out of business this year.
Can I share the screen?
But
can I share the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember how to do this. Hold on. I figured it out. I'm bullshitting. I got it.
But all the companies that are So
there's DoorDash.
Right.
Where do they come up with that number? Honestly, it's not a number that you or me are ever going to see. They take the PE and the the forecasting and the revenue numbers and what they think. They create this great big maze of hodgepodge bullshit. It's what it is, right? To create some kind of fourth future scene number. Here's the bottom line, bro. Here's your DoorDash.
Right.
Okay. Here's your DoorDash. Right. They were doing great until October 25. And what happened in October 25? Well, we had the big Liberation Day. And then it's been on a downtrend ever since.
Right.
Meanwhile, the rest of the market's going up.
Yeah.
You know why I think they're losing money? Why their stock price is losing money? Because same thing with Uber and Lyft. How do you create more revenue?
Well, and then there you go. So the only way that they have left to create more revenue is just tripling the customer price. I
That's
mean,
it.
and then we have a bigger problem in the food space because I know restaurants are leaving. And there are third-party restaurants that use DoorDash as the white glove service where the order's taken through an actual restaurant through Toast or Caviar, and you pay $10 flat fee, and you're going to get a DoorDash driver that is being paid by Toast or Caviar, but they're the white glove drivers that will do a job as if they're employed by the business where you're ordering the food from. I guess my point is you're not getting new customers. You know, I mean, we've seen a lot of stupid things tried, but in the food delivery space, you're not getting new customers. You're ripping the old ones off. Seattle's perfect proof. Seattle's a nightmare, you know, like, and in fact, as we run some time here, I'll just pull this up because I want to show you, this is Ryan Green, I know Ryan pretty well. Ryan is the CEO and the CEO and founder of Gridwise. If you guys are at least familiar with Gridwise, whether you use it or not doesn't matter. But look, if I go here and I say, look, so Seattle pay up legislation ran an article, and Ryan put this is on his what is it, on LinkedIn. This is on his LinkedIn account, and he did this article, right? And he's right because they made an article. And so he's saying after minimum pay legislation took effect, because the pay up said it's working. Now, I have had Joaquim on recently. I've talked to other drivers up in Seattle. 70% of the drivers are unable to work the platform since pay up. There's just no need for it anymore. The restaurants have been charged even more. And I've run restaurants. When you get up in 30+% food cost, you're losing money on these orders.
Losing money. Yeah.
So they took a small survey up in Seattle and said how it's working recently, and then he published this right after it because he was like, no, and he has way more data than the city of Seattle does. And so he says after this, you know, a city government report found that a single design change cost workers $550 million in tips. Now regulators are targeting the interface itself. And he goes on to say the 217 gap. So just in a real nutshell here, he's saying that apps that prompt at checkout average a 217 tip. Apps that prompt after delivery, 76 cents per delivery. And New York City and Seattle have gone to until the picture is taken from the driver that the food is delivered on your door, you cannot tip. There's no way to get to it. And you and I both know when your food gets there, most people just shut the app.
That's it.
And they're probably not going to tip you. Even a tipper might not tip you, but it's also I think it's creating bad behavior and telling people you don't need to tip. Don't worry. With this new legislation, this is screwed up. Just forget about it.
Travis Kalanick all over again.
So, you know, that's that. And then he goes on to say that, you know, New York passed this. And I have always said, when you put a dollar amount in the guarantee, you've just screwed yourself. This is the floor meets ceiling 100%. Program. And the hustlers 100%. Are going to not earn, and the low ballers are going to get that minimum. It's stupid, but it's also the fake active time. Active time isn't real. No, so, you know, it's talking about the city in 2023, went to 1796. This is active time. Raising it to 1956 in April, 2144 in 2025, and that was the wage floor. But the tip prompting moved to after the delivery was completed. So in New York City, this is Ryan's data from Gridwise, the share of Uber Eats orders that included a tip fell from 87% to 57%.
That's insanity, bro.
I mean, what that tells me though too, tippers are not tipping. It's not just not being tipped. It's people who would tip are not now tipping.
The other day, one of my guys asked me a question, said, Vinny, do you think when we get, cause he got up, he long story short, he did 2 rides on Saturday. Okay. 2 rides. What $250 on the 2 rides, but the 2 rides combined paid him like $70 in tips. So his question was this, and it relates right to this. because do you think when Uber sees that the rider tips you out that much, that maybe they'll push you to other good rides because they figure you're doing a good job? And my answer to him was no. I think exactly the opposite. I think the opposite. I think Uber's now learns that rider is willing to pay more for a ride. And so the next time they go to order a ride, Uber remembers, oh man, that was a big tip. They can afford a few more dollars. Let's get a few more dollars out of this ride. That's what I think. That's what this sounds like.
And I can kind of reaffirm that from a customer point of view of people I've talked to who say they're the people who have tried Uber One, which is a big hoax and trick. When you're in there, it's trying to get you to sign up for it every stage of the drip pricing along the way. I mean, it offers you it 5 times. But I've had people tell me, yeah, you get it. And then the first time or the second time you order something, it looks like you save some money. But then they're going to recoup that. Basically, if you have Uber One, you're going to pay the same thing you'd pay, if not a little more. And your wait time could be longer, actually, too. I've heard that from many people.
No.
Yeah.
You're paying to wait.
Yeah. So, but then this goes on, and then here's a chart. So this is a chart of, and I know I'm going to have to zoom in here at the end, but you guys are just going to have to, this is, according to the report, the drop translated to about 5,800 less per worker per year in New York.
Damn,
now,
that's a lot of money.
That blue and red line, those are going to be the one, you guys can't see what the cities next to them, but I'm going to zoom in on it. So just look at the end where it says the name, and then I'm going to zoom in on that right here. And if you look, Seattle and New York City are at 62 to 65% of nationwide. Whereas Los Angeles, Chicago, Dallas, they're not like jamming, but they're where they are. They're where they should be. Right. Like, this is proving that you are 5,800 less on average. That's
the worst thing that could ever happen was guaranteed pay floors, man. It's the worst thing that could ever happen.
It is. It's the worst thing. And they're still trying to taunt this. And so it says New York City's answer to those findings is a new law that specifically targets the interface. Delivery apps must now present the tip option at or before checkout. This is what New York City's pushing, with a minimum suggested tip of 10%. So the federal judge ruled it wasn't strong enough to pause the law. And Seattle followed the same cycle. Minimum pay legislation passed. Gridwise analytic data showed the tipping incident rate on Uber Eats orders in Seattle dropped from 88 to 50%.
That's insanity, dude.
I mean, this is, how do you run an article? I happen to know one of the people on the Seattle City Council, and it's a good friend of mine. I'm not sure if he still is, but it's the CEO of Dumpling, Joel Shapiro. He's a good friend. And everybody was kind of on board, and they made this at least happen. But everybody got off board. And there's some person in charge of that Seattle City Council that won't let it go. He's there, or she, he, whatever. They're holding on to this as it still works. And they're just trying to shove it down your throat that it works. And I'm like, your restaurants have reported. I mean, at this point, it's not just customers and drivers. Your restaurants are down 30 to 40% in app delivery order volume. You're the third biggest delivery market in the country, and you're down 30 to 40%.
They got them by the short hairs. It's what they do, Steve. It's what a good middleman knows how to work both sides of the marketplace, like Sergio used to say, right? So they work both sides of the marketplace. Well, that's what a good middleman does. They work both sides.
Yeah.
And how about remember when Uber and DoorDash were getting busted for creating duplicate websites of these restaurants? And so when you went on to order some food off the Uber Eats app, you wasn't ordering from Don Lachey restaurant. You was ordering from Uber's Don Lachey website restaurant. And then they would place the order to Don Lachey, and they were putting their fig on top of it.
Yeah. I mean, DoorDash just got fined a ton of money in Chicago. They've already had to pay up drivers for stealing tips 3 different times.
Bro,
3 different times.
It's still doing it.
And no, but this one was for during the pandemic. They were just putting restaurants onto the app and not talking to the restaurants.
I remember that.
Dude, and I had some people telling me like, well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that is it's their business. They have every
That's
right to
right.
decide who they partner with. And again, if they do
100%.
that, we all know that they're not paying the restaurant anything.
That's right. That's right. And they're putting their piece on they're putting their piece extra on it, plus getting the delivery, plus the service fees, plus all that shit. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's crazy legislation coming down. Sean and I listed 37 states, and I've got them here, but 37 states are going to be getting legislation for sure. I mean, I wouldn't by November. That's why I'm really on this kick before November about all this, because I'm aware of some of it. Some of it sucks. Some of it looks like a Prop 22 or a Seattle pay up.
Here's the biggest thing politicians got to face when it comes to this. Listen, Elizabeth Warren is finding out right now today. I got a video I shot yesterday. I don't know. You heard about Spirit Airlines?
Yeah.
Right? Spirit Air, their main hub is Fort Lauderdale International Airport.
Yeah.
There's 35, 40 planes sitting out there all over the goddamn on the sides of the runways right now, can't do nothing. Right?
Yeah.
And 14,000 people lost their jobs overnight. Yep. No politician wants to be known as the person who put Uber out of town or put DoorDash out of town. And that's the leverage that the apps have over politicians. This is why guys like yourself and all the people that you're connected to, that's the fight. Nobody wants to turn around and tell everybody in the chat, hey, you don't have a job tomorrow on a gig app. Tough titty, go find something else.
Fair. So as we run through time here, I mean, like I think we got through most of it, but I do have two questions I wanted to ask you on the way out. So first, one of the pieces of legislation that is around is about a cap on drivers. I'm all for this, actually. I don't know how you feel. I've had taxi drivers on here. In fact, one of them or two of them run the taxi stand hour podcast every Sunday. And I had Ed on here, good friend of mine. He was a New York City cab driver. He's retired now in his upper 60s, but he did like 25 years in New York City, but he did like 10 in Fort Lauderdale as a cab driver. He said Fort Lauderdale used to do the same thing.
There's a cap on private drivers here. Yes.
So on any given night, and he actually broke it down. He said how it worked was, like they would say like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, this is how many cabs you can have on the street. Thursday, this many because it's bar night. Weekends, this, and then if there was but then if there was events, they could also like float with that.
You could bump, it's based like the way
it was all good.
The way it's written into the county. I don't want to call it constitution, but the county law is based on you get X amount of taxis per capita, X amount of private cars per capita. That's the way it's set here.
So here becomes my question because there's a lot of people who don't like my idea because they're like, dude, that means waiting lists. And I'm actually for waiting lists. I don't believe in onboarding everybody and nobody has any business.
Well, here's the thing. How do you, I'm cool with a cap provided one stipulation that it's not that the person who gets to drive that day isn't because they'll accept the lowest fare. See, now you get into a whole performance-based priority, seniority, performance-based seniority. I'm a 499 driver, right? I got one 2-star on my shit. Fuck Carl. I know who it was. Fuck Carl. His wife was nice, but fuck Carl. Okay. And that's it. Right? Every CMT's at 99, cancels at 1. Performance based. If they're going to give they're going to put the best drivers out there and cap it at that, okay. But if they're going to just put whoever's willing to take, the 4.5 rated rider and is willing to work for 30% less money, then I got a problem with it because then it's not free market.
So here was when we were talking this through, one thing I put out there to them was I said exactly that. I said, how do you not do it so it's just absolutely over encouraging metrics, which I think need to be gone completely anyway. And they said, we got into a discussion about why not, like DoorDash, let's take for instance, let's say you're multi-apping on a Friday. Let's say that the cap is 1,000 DoorDashers can be out. I don't know.
Okay.
Just making that up. But if one leaves the app, you can keep, I mean, this is what people do now to Dash now. You could keep opening it and try and get in.
Right.
And if somebody like goes, I'm going to do an Instacart, their DoorDash would, your DoorDash is, if it's even paused, you'd be off. But anybody could try at any time, but there would just be a cap to how many could be out there. Because then here's my thought is that some people would go, I'm going to work DoorDash tonight. And it's like 7. They're like, I'm going to go out in a half hour. And they look and it's all full. They look at 7:15, it's full. It's 7:30. And they're like, you know what? I'm just going to go have a fun night because I'm not going to do this all night.
Didn't New York try this? Didn't New York put caps on how many Uber drivers can be on the road at one time?
But everything New York's done has never had a metric removal. And a lot of these states are looking at the metric removal. It needs to be good. Because here's the conversation that I'm having with a lot of people. First of all, the most popular conversation I'm having with lawmakers right now are illegals on the platforms. And by illegals, guys, I keep clarifying this. I am not only talking about, but I am talking about illegals. But also like me, if I got deactivated and I go to TikTok Live or to Facebook and I buy an account, I am now creating fraud too, and I am using a fraudulent account.
Well,
so I would fall into that category as well.
Steve, that right there is your answer to all the problems.
Yeah.
When you truly think about it, that right there, getting rid of illegal accounts on all these apps resolves probably 90% of all the problems, including rates, what we get paid. Basic Econ 101, supply and demand.
And that's what I was thinking about with the cap. You're not going to get away with the $2 no tip offer anymore because it's going to sit there even longer than it already does if you're capped with your drivers, because the drivers will be smarter and they're not just going to go, dude, I'll wait.
They're just not going to take the rides if they're paying that cheap. That's what I mean.
But when you have 100 times too many drivers, somebody will take it.
Well, that's unfortunately, you got cherry pickers, you got ants, and when I say ants, please don't get mad at me. I don't mean that in a negative way, because there are times right now that, listen, on Premier, I'm an ant. Like they send me a ride and it's within a couple miles, I'm going to get that Premier ride because it pays way better than any Comfort or X-Ride does. And I got a Tesla, so it don't cost me what a Suburban costs. Damn that, I'm going to get paid. But you solve the illegal account problem.
Yeah.
You solve 90% of the problems in the gig space.
Yeah.
90%.
And I'm talking with some Louisiana lawmakers, and somehow they actually have been running some numbers of their own. They estimate that close to half of the this is just DoorDash that we were discussing.
Mm-hmm.
They estimated half of the DoorDash drivers in their 3 biggest cities are illegal accounts.
And nobody's doing nothing about it. There was that, you remember
at first it kind of blew my mind, but then I can be honest and tell you guys, I talk about it all the time. I see them here all the time. I know Derek sees them. He's in my market. Tony sees them. We all know what they do, where they are. Mm-hmm. We know the system. There's a couple different ways they do this too. And there's some really sketchy ones. So some are just somewhat sketchy. Others are they pull up to a van that sits in a parking lot and never moves. And the guy's 100 phones. He comes out and hands you 5.
Yep.
And then you bring him back those 5 when you're done, and he hands you 5 more.
It's the conversation nobody wants to have.
Well, tough shit. We're going to have it.
Because that's it. But it's not just, okay, I'm not going there, Steve. I'm not going there. But I'm just saying. You want to bring down health insurance costs? Right?
Yeah.
You got to remove the fraud. You want to bring down taxes? You got to remove the fraud. You want to, everybody wants to do this. Everybody wants to meet Jesus, but ain't nobody in a hurry to get there. You know what I'm saying?
And you and I were mentioning that to those watching and listening on the audio podcast. Vinny and I were talking about that before we started. How another thing happened today with a medical thing in California. I mean, it's daily now. And the fraud numbers are huge. They're not these little, we caught this little operation. Everything is like
250 million, 350 million.
Yeah, they're out of control, dude. I mean, and you get to ridiculous. A location and it's an address that has no furniture in it or anything. It's just an empty building.
Listen, you want to bring down the price of eggs? I can think of 40 million reasons that would bring down the price of eggs right now.
Yeah. And I mean, this is part of what I was, in the beginning when I'm saying about the Colorado law. So the Colorado law wants to push that we'll have 2 checker background checks a year. The first one doesn't work. I've worked with checker for para. Like, why the hell are you working with checker? I worked with checker, and that's why I'm not just picking on them. I'm picking on them because they're the only ones that use the gig apps, or the gig apps use them. If there was another company that, and I can tell you this right now, because when we did ParaWorks, part of that was my assignment. I had to look into this. There is only one reason they use checker. It is hands down, and it's half as much as the next tier up. It is the cheapest background check in the world.
That's a goddamn shame. That's a damn shame. But again, got to consider the source, right? You got to consider who's using them, why they're trying to use them. Steve, did you know? My buddy Pascal sent me this the other day. I did not know this. TechCrunch did an article. Uber is now exploring the idea of mounting certain sensors on cars.
Yep.
Okay.
I saw that article today.
So that they can go collect all the data of the traffic and the potholes and the lights and so that they can turn around and sell it.
Yeah.
To bro, like how long has Waymo and Tesla been doing this?
And tell me, I mean, first of all, they'll be selling it to everybody. I call it slut data.
Yeah,
because they just throw it out to everybody for a nickel. Here you go. You want some? But like
Uber,
you can guarantee that they'll be selling it to Waymo.
Well, they'll try
to the city's Waymo, but I mean to the city's Waymo's not in yet. That's like pre-mapping.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like how many cars, how many drivers are going to fall for the okie doke? We'll give you 5 cents extra a mile if you let us put these sensors up your tailpipe while you're out on your shift, right? Or do they do a CMT and force you to have it in your phone like CMT is forced on us, right? And so, Steve, they're throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah.
Because just like with DoorDash, where are they going to get the revenue from? How are they going to scale? All these apps are at a cap. And the final thought on this for me, I'll talk to you all night, brother. We can go all night. But my final thought, Tesla's going to eradicate all of this. I hate to say it, but it's coming.
I think, and that's what I was trying to say. Like Waymo, I mean, Waymo's the prominent one, but that's what I was kind of talking about with Uber money. Uber doesn't have money. I mean, they do, but they don't. And every day I see a new article about them investing $1 billion in another car company because in 30 years they'll be getting 15 autonomous cars from them.
Right.
I mean, I'm exaggerating here, people, but I'm just like,
no, not really. Not really. How many do you think they're going to get from Rivian and from Lucid?
I don't know because the Waymos run about 475,000.
No, they got the cheaper car now. They're getting away from the Jags. They're going to that cheap shit, the Kia or whatever it is.
Yeah, but still, nonetheless, you have an $80,000 LiDAR that I'm sure in 10 years will be about $1,000.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
But it just hasn't gone down yet. But I mean, the LiDAR is also like a sonar. There's castaways in Waymo cars. People get in there and the sonar doesn't, or the radar doesn't, or the LiDAR doesn't detect them. I mean, it makes no sense at all.
I will never get in a Waymo.
It hit a kid, and their excuse was that, the kid darted out, and they used the word darted out from behind a van, so Waymo hit its first kid in Southern California about a month ago.
Right.
And it said, well, the kid darted out from behind a van. Guess what, guys? Those of us that know, the LiDAR sees right through the van.
Right.
So what are you talking about?
I got one better for you. How is it that Waymo can still operate after that accident? Do you remember when GM had Cruise going?
Yeah.
San Francisco, a woman was hit by another car. Somebody driving that car was hit by that car, thrown, and the Cruise car, autonomous car, ran over her. Next thing you know, Cruise is completely off the roadway.
Yeah.
It's the power of that money.
And GM was working with Cruise, and GM took them back from level 5 entry level autonomous to level 3. They didn't go back to level 4. They jumped back 2 and said, dude, never mind. This is a joke.
Yep. Yep. It's
And
amazing. It's amazing to me how when I first started seeing these Waymos going on the wrong way of the street.
yeah.
I mean, that's enough to. Or what was the one? Did you see the one in Chicago? No, not Chicago. Detroit. They had you had like 5 police officers that had their firearms drawn, and they had a suspect on the ground laid out like this, and the Waymo took the left turn.
Oh yeah,
right
yeah, yeah.
The suspect and the cops.
Yeah. I've seen it go. I mean, they do everything. They do everything
Oh
wrong.
my God.
I
Unbelievable.
mean, we pull Waymo videos here all the time. So before I move to my last final question for you, I did want to show you this. This is all Waymo's good for, you guys. Just so you know, it's good for one thing.
Oh, I love it. I love squirrels too. I love it.
Clearly, it's AI, because if you guys have seen, that is not the LiDAR that's on a Waymo.
I love it. It was awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
It was awesome. That was awesome. I'd give him $5. I got $5 here somewhere. I get $5 for that tail. Put $5 on that tail, bro. That was awesome. You know, the other thing, the same thing. Well, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, you know, when you were on over there with me, we were talking about the YouTube thing, and I mentioned the YouTube and the Amazon. Have you noticed? Remember when Wendy's was in the news because they were going to start charging for their Dave Double? They were going to start charging dynamic pricing on the hamburgers through the drive-through at 1 o'clock in the morning. Do you remember that about a year ago? And they came, oh yeah, Wendy's came out and said, well, we're thinking when it's busier, we're going to charge more for our hamburgers.
Yeah.
Absolutely happened. Right? But I was saying to some of my people down here the other day, like Uber has really changed the landscape of how unconventional businesses operate. Like YouTube, right? Like a YouTube scaling back their numbers and scaling back the payouts to their YouTube partners. And this, I don't think a lot of people understand there is no real money for 90% of the creators on YouTube anymore. It's just not there.
No,
that's number one. Amazon.
I mean, and they're pushing you. We talked about this.
About
they're pushing memberships, and they're really trying to get you to do the things where you'll have some income coming in.
Right.
Not relying on AdSense, or that kind of money is not going to bring you.
No, AdSense
fame
is
and fortune
back.
Anymore. Yeah.
They're scaling back everything there. Amazon just scaled back on all the commissions. And there's another way that we can make money with Amazon. But the point is that all of these companies, all of these tech companies, they're every kind of way they can. They're trying to claw back because it goes right back to that market, bro. It goes right back to that goddamn stock price. How can they scale? The free money is not flowing anymore like it was. It's just not flowing.
Yeah. Derek says, I just don't believe any AVs are ready to deal with the OODA loops at scale.
I don't know what that is. What is OODA?
I'm not sure what that is either, Derek. And if I should know it, I'm not seeing it. It's not even ringing a bell.
I'm not sure what that is. I don't know. Should I ask?
I'm guessing it's an acronym, obviously, but is it a national or a state one? But my final question to you, while hopefully he's typing it, was, okay, so here we are. We just ran through a lot of issues that are going on. What saves, and I don't mean saves so that 10 million people can do it. If you were put to task to even be a heard voice on a team, what saves rideshare or delivery apps? Just, we can focus on rideshare. What saves rideshare at this point? Because autonomous isn't ready. The cost of the ride isn't ready. If you they're kicking people out for puking. They charged somebody that changed clothes is getting sued in LA because they changed clothes in the ride.
Okay.
So Waymo's suing people too. They're suing their passengers.
That's insanity.
So again, it's just not ready. I mean, it's not like drivers, you're done.
I get it.
Autonomous, you're in. Let's go. Second half. We're not there. So what saves it? Because this is a joke right now.
There's two ways I look at it, Steve. Seriously, there's two ways I look at it. The first way is if you're going to be on basic platforms or delivery, you got to get yourself an electric car. You just have to. You have to. You cannot deal with the fluctuation of fuel prices and oil prices. Is oil going to come down? Yeah, of course it is. But nobody saw it going to $5 a gallon either, up until a month ago, 2 months ago. You have to, whatever you can do to minimize your expense, because you're not going to be able to maximize your earnings. You have no control over your earnings. So in that respect, get cheap. Like we were saying, 2 years ago when we first started getting into this. Observe, orient, decide, and act. Oh, look at you, Mr. D. Okay. I wouldn't have went there with you, but okay. Yes. We can have that conversation. We can have that conversation. Anyway, so you either get really cheap with your expenses.
Yep.
Or you get your own commercial insurance. Because on the apps, that's what they're pushing.
Yeah.
We see it in California. We've seen it now in Miami. You're seeing it in Orlando forever. You got to get your own commercial insurance if you plan to still run on the apps. There's no way to increase your earnings, Steve, because it's like we say, when you get an order for curry.
Well, I still think you go, or catering, but I still think you go back to the catering apps. It's tougher to be a fraudulent account. I can actually say this. I know the companies very well. They have a much different process on this. But I still think you and I are on that same page. Did you get rid of these fraudulent accounts?
Well,
the money falls back into place a little more too, because people
money falls back into place a lot. But that's nothing. But you can't control that, and I can't control that.
Right.
You asked me what.
But there are a lot of people this year, a lot more than ever before, going public about getting tax documents. I never worked on those platforms.
Again, you're talking something that might take 5-10 years down the line to try to straighten out. Because like I said, politicians don't want to be responsible for putting 100 people out of work, let alone 1,000 or 10,000 or 30,000 or 50,000, right? The only dumb broad that was okay with that is Warren and AOC. That's it. No other politician from either side of the aisle wants to be responsible for knocking out 100,000 Uber drivers in Denver this weekend. They just don't.
No, but if you're losing money on every ride, somebody needs to step in a little bit. I mean, this is, and again, the illegal, everybody needs to remember, it's pretty obvious, but I'll say the obvious. Everybody needs to remember the illegal accounts don't pay their taxes.
Shit, no.
So, and now Uber or DoorDash is offering stablecoin payments. Do you know how stupid that is? So you had to have a Crimson card before. So if you had an illegal account, you were transferring your money to a Crimson card. Then you could transfer it to any bank you wanted. So you had to transfer it to the card first, then do that. Now with the stablecoin thing, you can just put it right to a digital wallet and have your people back home in their country get it immediately.
If that is allowed to happen in the
United happened. States, it already happened. DoorDash has it, stablecoin payments.
And if that's the case, if the federal government is not coming down on them, I don't want to hear a goddamn thing about nobody not paying enough taxes, because you're not paying taxes on stable coins. You can follow the wallet.
Yeah.
But trust me when I tell you, you have no way of knowing who owns that wallet.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to rat them out.
I can tell you this. Marissa in Boulder, she's an accountant. She told me that people who were filing a lot of crypto stuff with her this year, there's a new, I don't know if it's every state or what, but with crypto, you have to list every transaction. If you buy food, you have to list it. Any transaction in crypto, you have to list now in your taxes and have an addendum attached.
That's worse than the $600 cash.
I mean, it's basically saying we absolutely have no trust or faith in this crypto crap. So you guys are going to show us everything.
I don't think that's not a federal thing, bro. That's a state thing. That's not
right. But I'm saying it's not. We're not the only state, is my guess, doing it, or others will be looking at it, because there is a problem with the crypto money.
Well, Steve, how can I say
it's a way to? I mean, it's basically washing your money, and if it's coming from somebody like DoorDash, you're getting clean money out of it, whether it be a little, still clean.
That's insanity that they get away. Who do they have a picture of a donkey with? They got a picture of somebody with a donkey somewhere to get away with that.
Yeah, no, it's I mean
I don't know,
it's
brother.
a thing, dude. It is a thing where they are yeah, Lyft and now Lyft is considering because Lyft is partnering up with DoorDash, they're considering the at least in Canada now. They're considering the stable coin method.
In Canada, I thought Canada was against crypto.
Man, I don't know what is
up.
going on anymore. I am losing it. And these articles, the stable coin here already is done. It's not a thing they're talking about. It's done.
They're doing it.
They're doing it.
That's
And this is very new. This is a 2-week-old story.
You know, I people get mad at me when I say this, but I swear to Jesus, elections have consequences. They just do. It just do. And it's on both sides. It ain't just one side. It's both sides. It's both sides.
Gator saying, what is stable? This is how I think of it anyway. Maybe Vinny can correct me if I say this wrong, but I view it like this. So like sometimes with currencies, let's take crypto out for a second. Sometimes with currencies, you're using a basket of currencies because you don't want to rely on one. So you have the the US dollar, and you have some of the most stable, the top 5 stablest currencies are in that basket. In case one takes a little hit, that stable basket. So my thought is that stable coin refers to a basket of like Bitcoin and some of the ones that hold a level and don't bounce the hell all over every day.
Well, that's what it is. Stable coin is a dollar. If you got a USDT, United States, forget digital tether, right? Yeah. If it's $1, it's $1 to $1. Stable coin means the price doesn't fluctuate like everything else does. It's held to a standard. When the American dollar was on the gold standard, you could get an ounce of gold for $1 or whatever the fuck it was, right? So that's what a stable coin is. It keeps the value that you bought it at that value. It doesn't shift around like a Bitcoin or Ethereum or Zcash or something like that. So when you don't want to keep cash on a wallet, which you shouldn't, at least no cash, not a lot of cash. You never want to keep it on Coinbase or, some of these other, what is it? The Winkle brother guys, what a Gemini. You don't want to keep it on there, right?
Yeah.
You want to convert that into stable coin so it'll always be worth what you paid for it. That's all it is. It's just stable.
Yeah. Coin. Yeah. I mean, regardless, I guess my point is that was the analogy, but the way that what they're doing is crypto's, I know a lot of people love it, but crypto's sketchy enough right now. We don't need to be paying people in this way. Because all the article really told me is the only reason that you did this is illegal accounts.
That's it. There's no other reason.
I mean, why else would you? I would never take my payment in stablecoin.
It costs them more money. I think it would cost them more. Well, you know what? It might be cheaper. Transactional, cryptocurrency transactional, depending on which crypto you're in, can be extremely cheap. Cheaper than a bank transaction. Absolutely cheaper than a bank.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, but let's just say it's nominal at this point, or let's say they're even. The only thing I saw about this article,
then you're hiding money. Yeah,
I mean, the only thing I saw was that, hey, this is going to be easier for illegal accounts to get paid.
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, I say it all the time. They're aware of the illegal accounts. They all know
because there's a certain side of the aisle that's so against cryptocurrency because the other side of the aisle is for cryptocurrency now. Yeah, it's funny how that fucking flip flops. But because we can't track it. The IRS is holding, I don't know, like $18 billion in crypto wallets that they can't crack. But you know what? As long as they got them, then nobody else can move them. You know what I mean? Right. It's amazing to me. People are so hypocritical, bro. So hypocritical. I don't know. If you're in America, you should pay in American dollars. That's it.
So outside of cracking down a cap on drivers or something like that, you don't really see your average Uber X driver. There's no way without cracking down on the illegal accounts that they will.
There's no way to get the money up. No, you can't get the money up. Your expenses are going to keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. Somebody said in the chat that crypto, when I mentioned commercial insurance, they said commercial insurance is too expensive. It is. It absolutely is. So, like in LA, they're getting a $1 extra a mile stipend, right? For drivers. Even on X, they're getting $1 extra a mile. Those guys are killing it. But you know what else they've been doing? They've been reducing the base fares, reducing the base fares, reducing the base fares. Meanwhile, those guys out there, their commercial insurance is just as much as it was 6 months ago. So you have to reduce your expenses. If you're going to stay in the game, you have to reduce your expenses because you're not going to make any more money. Yeah. They got the leverage. They control that. As long as somebody's willing to take that $2 ride, they're going to keep throwing out $2 rides.
So then I will throw you this one thing. I had an experience. I popped a tire. I blew out a tire.
Okay.
And I buy discount tires because I get the $30 repair or replace.
Okay.
So I popped so many tires in Denver. I don't know how your area is, but alleys here and stuff, there's so much construction. There's nails everywhere, dude. I mean, I pop tires all the time doing especially B2B stuff. But so if one's in the sidewall or if my tread depth gets far enough, they just replace it for the $30 or the $25 that you put down on the tire.
Can't beat that.
And then they put the new tire on and they're like, do you want the 25 on the new tire? And that's all you pay. So you're always like, yes. But anyway, I blow this tire. I go to Discount Tire and I'm like, you know what? It's 3.5 miles from my house. And it was 1:30 when I got there. If I need to go there, I go there in the morning. They were busy. He said, it's going to be a couple hours. I would normally wait if it's 20, 30 minutes. But I said, you know what? I'm going to go home. And so I pulled up Uber. I had an Uber quote. It said Uber X, 3 minutes away. And it said, it was $5.62 was the charge to me. I don't have Uber One. I don't have discounts. I don't have promotions. $5.62 was my full pay. Now, after that ride, they took off more money. So they added the fees for Colorado. They took off more. It ended up being $5.30. So it actually ended up 32 cents less. So we're in the transparency state. I asked the driver if he got the same thing I did because we see it at the end of a ride.
Right.
He was paid $3.25.
Okay.
To take me. Okay, well, it's not all right. But so I tip him $3 or I tip him $10 cash and $3 through the app just to match his payment.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, dude, what the hell has happened to Uber? Like, here's what happened. When I ordered that ride, it said 3 minutes. Accept, cancel, accept, cancel. I had 3 people cancel before the 4th person said, I'll come get you. Like, people were accepting it and then going, dude, I'm not gonna, and they were waiting too. It wasn't happening quick. So here I am standing there and I'm like, I'm thinking literally, dude, charge me 10 and send a driver right over. I'm cool paying that.
Couple things could have been happening. Number one, those drivers could have been trying to get their acceptance rate up, right? Because,
but I'm saying the Uber, these were my Uber quotes. Comfort was 75 cents more.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. It's a cheap ride. You're trying to figure out why it was so cheap, right?
It should never be that cheap.
But that's what they have to do to compete with each other.
But even me as a customer and me as a customer that works in the gig economy, like all of us, like there are people who make a lot more than us, right? So, but me, I even think, dude, I already know, first of all, who's going to accept this? It didn't. A lot of people dropped it, but I'm thinking like, dude, charge me more. I mean, I don't want to say that about everything in life, but I'm thinking, charge me more. What are you doing?
That's because you're in the business. To the average Joe on the street that might be trying to get to work at Burger King, $5, that's 30 minutes of his time when he gets to work, or 20 minutes of his time when he gets to work. You know, they have to, this is, again, I hate to go here, but I got to do it. This is where the AVs are going to absolutely kick the shit out of local drivers, because they can do a $5 ride and still be 60% profitable. It's not like I'm for.
I'm wondering about upkeep. I'm wondering because they're already, like I said, they're suing passengers and Waymos, and I know you're talking probably about Tesla as well.
I'm talking Tesla, yeah.
But people are gonna puke. People are gonna. I mean, things are gonna go wrong a lot. They're gonna need to be cleaned all the time. People are gonna leave dirty needles in them, baby diapers. Baby gonna ride without car seats because
that's where. Well, they're going to listen. They're going to do the exact same thing that Uber does now and Lyft does now. They're going to charge them cleaning fees, That's going to be part of the TOS you agree to when you get on the system. It's going to, but let me ask you a question, Steve. How many, or in the chat, how many rides do you give where you have a cleanup that you need to do? For me, it might be one in every 300 rides that I gotta actually do a cleanup. You know, maybe somebody left a Coke can or bottle or some bullshit in the car, right? I'm not talking about wiping off the mat.
Right.
And so if people know, riders know, if you mess up in an Uber car, you're going to get hit with a $250 extra fee. How long will it be before they, the same thing? Waymo's not wrong for suing these people. They're not wrong for that. They left a mess. They know they left a mess.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be a slob in the car, they're going to come get you. It'll just be a matter of time, and everybody will acclimate to that.
Anyway, it's a crazy nightmare, I know, and there's so much going wrong. I do happen. I mean, this is why I try and stay somewhat positive and try and tell people that, listen, I am working with lawmakers who have not given a shit till now. I don't mean that in a mean way. They just didn't know how, or they weren't aware how bad it was. They didn't know there was live TikTok sales of human accounts. They didn't. I mean, they're really waking up now. So some things are happening. Are they going to happen quick enough is the question.
Well, that's why I always say, Steve, when I because I stop into your stuff probably 2-3 times a week when I can, and you're probably the most thorough podcaster when it comes to all of the app stuff, the nuts and bolts, the real bullshit, not the complaining about this or bitching up about that, but I mean, this is what's like the graph you showing tonight, right? With the 6 bullet points on it. Like, that's real stuff. That's stuff that drivers that take serious what they do and give a shit about how they make their money want to know. So, bravo to you, man. You're doing a ton and a huge service to the community, bro. You just are. I don't have the patience for it no more, man. I can't. I just don't.
I have my days, man. Trust me. But I feel like I've come too far. There's a lot going on by November too. And just recently with some of the lawmakers here and some others, I got introduced to a whole slew of new ones because of they all are latching onto the illegal thing. And I got to tell you, as much as some people don't want to talk about it, it's really interesting to watch them all, knowing the midterms are coming up. No matter, and I'm talking both sides of the aisles, guys.
Oh yeah.
They are like, dude, we need to solve this now. Now, did they know all the details before? No, but they kind of, like, I think you alluded to it earlier. They knew it was happening, but they were like, we don't care.
Of course. Yeah.
But now they have to care. The constituents know, the customers are being ripped off. People know. There is an option in Colorado that says, you probably all have it on Uber, if you have Uber Eats, where if you have a complaint or if you down thumbs a driver, it says wrong driver. And then it says wrong vehicle showed up, or driver was not same as picture. But now there's one that says expired temporary license plate is an option.
No shit.
I mean, dude, how much farther do we need to go when that's an option? That is in the first 4 of the 7 options. Other than other is the 8th. In the first 4, it's in there.
Lyft telling its drivers, its riders on comfort, if your comfort driver didn't meet your expectations, then rate him poorly so that we know, and we will pay you up to $30 credit on your next ride.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate you.
Good job. Go gig it. No, Ron. Good job. Lyft is going to pay the riders to rat out the drivers. And yet people will leave this. They will watch your show. They will watch the replay. And they will go right out there and turn on fucking Lyft. Even though Lyft is working 100% against them.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But somebody's taking the rides.
But again, before November, like I said, both sides of the aisle. This is where if you're like, damn, dude, a little doom and gloom today or what? Listen, that's just part of the real. But I guess the positive note is there are both sides of the aisle people that I talk to who are very concerned about if they're retiring and not rerunning and they're sure their political career is done, maybe this will be the last suitcase they do take and they don't care.
Right.
But if you're going to stay in politics, you now need to care about the illegals. You have to care about it.
Yeah, they have to, because
Both sides
are feeling it. Like when it comes to blue collar people, you know what I always say, Steve? I always say you got 5% of the nutsos on the left and 5% of the nutsos on the right that make all the noise. The other 90% of us in the middle, we're all just blue collar, hardworking people trying to make a living and feed our families. So both sides of that aisle are getting their jobs taken. It's just true. It's true.
They can't go to the other thing is they can't go to the constituent. This is what I hear from some of the lawmaker aides. I like the aides even better, because some of the like built-in aides who have been there a while, like, will tell me, yeah, he told you a lot today, but you know what he didn't tell you? They're cool. They tell me some stuff they know. And one thing for sure is, yeah, we've known about the drivers being pissed for years. Yeah, you know, like some of us don't use these apps, or we have a family member that says, oh, they're really good. And lately they've been saying, man, they just cost too much, the food. And now, so those are all constituents, but now they have the businesses going, screw you, fix this right now.
Yep.
And so even though that shouldn't carry more weight, every constituent counts, businesses count very heavy.
Money
and
talk.
So when they have to now look, and whether you're a Democrat, Republican, far left, far right, just off center, it doesn't matter. If you're rerunning in your district, or you're trying to run in a new district, you have to be against this crap, because otherwise you're putting restaurants out of business. Drivers that do this and know what they're doing and are legal can't do it anymore. Mm-hmm. Customers can't afford it.
You kill your tax base. Without question, you kill your tax base. You start killing your community. You know, it's the Walmart syndrome. Walmart moves into an area, they get all their subsidies from the local governments, get these tax-free breaks, right? They put all the mom and pop businesses out of business. All the mom and pop shops are out of business. And then once all those people leave and go away and you got no money anymore, Walmart packs up and they go 5 miles down the street and they do it all over again. It's exactly what happens.
It's crazy.
But as far as, look, I think drivers got a lot to be thankful for, and they've got a lot of good stuff that can still come out of rideshare or out of delivery. I think delivery lasts a lot longer than rideshare does. I don't think delivery is going to get hit the way, bro, people have no idea what's coming. They got no fucking clue. They got no clue. But delivery,
but it needs to, it's not just
different animal
economy too, that as we close this out, that's not just what we're talking about. This is everything.
Everything. Well, here's a quick tip for you, Steve. Don't play the ponies. Okay. Remember that they used to tell you, hey, can I get a tip? Yeah, don't play the ponies. No. Something that is brought to my attention. I haven't done all the research on it yet. We're getting a new Fed chairman, right? Yeah. The new guy, Warsh, is coming in, right? Now I got to go back and look and see how many back in secession. But every time there's a new Fed chair, we usually correct about 10% in the market. So just a little fair warning.
But to correct this problem, there really is no other solution other than you got to take care of these illegal accounts. You got to.
That's it. It's the bottom line.
And especially because every day there's, like, even on TikTok, there's Luis will send me some, and then I find more in my algorithm. There are more popping up. They're not going down. I report them all too. Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares.
More and more people are doing these every night, and they have enough accounts to keep selling these.
How is it that one person can sit there and generate 100 licenses in a day, 100 IDs in a day, 100 birth certificates in a day, all of the bullshit that they ask you, and then take a picture. Bro, I've been asked like 4 times in one day to take a goddamn picture on my phone without ever even shutting off the app.
DoorDash doesn't require you to put in a VIN, have upload registration, upload insurance, nothing. They reverse engineer it and say, what is the year, make, model, and color of your car? And then that's enough for them. And they're like, you're good to go. And then it says, just make sure to carry your insurance with you. Doesn't even ask for that.
See, that's crazy to me.
And Incognia told me of an instance of a guy who, and again, here's something weird. I was joking about, and they handle the security for Uber, DoorDash, and all that now. They're on over 600 million devices worldwide.
Okay.
And so he told me that you don't need to worry about the person with 7 phones. You need to worry about the person with 1 phone. He goes, we had one person with 1 phone that had over 1,000 accounts on it.
Jesus Christ.
And then DoorDash doesn't, I mean, this is simple. If you guys don't know about databases, this is a simple database, but DoorDash has been caught with, upward of 100 instances of the same social security number being used.
Tech companies, right? And these are tech companies, Steve. These are tech companies. For all the drivers out there, do you know what the biggest pet peeve I have with the Uber app right now? Out of everything that could possibly be not good, the one that gets me the most is I get a request, I accept a request, I'm at a traffic light. I can't go nowhere. It's a fucking red light. It's sitting there. And the app will come up and say, you need to hurry up or the rider might cancel the ride. And I'm saying to myself, I'm using your navigation. I'm at a red light and you're telling me to run the fucking bro. Every time I see that, I just want to cancel the ride. Every time.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. It is.
These are tech companies.
But guys, I guess my point is the hope is legislation. If you don't think so, listen, I didn't want it either. But it helped us here in Colorado. Transparency is huge. It didn't solve everything, but it makes it a lot better when you see what. Listen, at the end of if Vinny's in Colorado and he drives me somewhere, at the end of the ride, he gets a flash screen, but I get it too. What was the driver paid, and what did I pay, and then all the other breakdowns. But the first thing you see is total pay, then driver pay.
I think that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
The apps fucking hate it. The apps fucking hate it. They are just not happy about this.
That's something that, well, you know what? If they got rid of the illegal accounts, they wouldn't have to worry about that kind of shit. Yeah. Because the drivers, you make the driver happy, and that's not to, Steve, that's not to say a year from now, driver could be making $1.50 a mile now, and then a year from now, he might want $2. I get that. Right? Because let's be honest. Some people never be happy no matter how much you pay them. But you start taking care of the drivers, and the drivers can take care of their families, and they don't feel like they got to work 15 hours a day to make a 6-hour salary. I mean, some of their problems go away too.
Yeah, 100%. We could go all night, guys, but I am just thankful I kept Vinny this long. So
I appreciate.
I know when I sent him all this stuff yesterday, he's like, "Wait, I got to read all this,
bro." What did I say? You mean I got to prepare? I did. I was ready.
I know, but I was like, not really. I'm like, I was just showing you what we're going to be talking about, but I knew you would just be able to weigh in. This space.
10 years, man. I've been driving 10 years, 10 and a half years, part-time. And, I've seen the best of it. I've seen the worst of it. I've been the X driver. I've been the black SUV driver, and everything in between. And it's, I call it now money, Steve. It's what I call it. I call this now money, right? Because today I need to go out. Right now I need to go make $150, right? But it's getting a fuck ton harder to try to make that $150, bro. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm not. I mean, I've been doing other things for a long time. For 3, 4. I've been doing curry forever. You know me. I'm the curry guy.
You are the curry guy. You are. I wouldn't know, but you are.
Yeah. I mean, like I get texts from even like some of your people, Buddha and stuff. He'll catch me on Twitter and he'll be like, dude, what do I do with curry with this? Because they are all AI support now. I'm like, just because I know more than and hi Curry, just because I know more than every one of the people at Curry doesn't mean I'm getting paid though. To be their customer service, man.
No, but your account's got the little star next to it. So when it comes up in the algo, don't fuck Steve.
Yeah, no, because dude,
sorry for the language.
They all know me too. The whole, I've had the CEO on a couple times, and I know the whole team. They've done a lot for me. They've done a lot for our people, giving away stuff and just being cool. and they've been transparent since day one. So I mean, they know not to even. They're letting people go, just like you were talking about. They're kind of sizing down the company, and they're much more AI. Well, they know not to. I got to be there because otherwise, there are people there that don't know things I do. I have to correct them,
Right?
and
Well,
say that's not how it works.
It's listen. At the end of the day, man, it's whenever you run a business that's dependent on another business, you are always susceptible to whatever that main business does, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Right? We were talking about Spirit Airlines and the 14,000 jobs there, and they just built a $150 million training facility last year here. Now it's a white elephant, right? And but it's not just those people. Now it's the sky caps. Now it's the baggage handlers. Now it's the fuel trucks, right?
Yep.
I went and worked the airport yesterday, specifically knowing I was going to get my ass handed to me in that queue, right? Because 30% of the flights into that airport went away. So it's not only the main people, it's the complimentary and the ancillary. It's crazy how this whole thing ties in together, man. It's unbelievable.
It is
unbelievable.
Vinny, I will be over on your Wednesday. If I don't know if there's one this week, I would be.
Well, we can talk after the show's over. You got a minute, right? I'll tell you what I've been doing. I won't bore your peoples out here.
But what should these guys know? Tell them about what you're up to, because I know if you don't want to mention all your channels.
No. I tell you, no. Listen,
why don't you tell everybody? Because Rideshare Garage is something a lot of people knew, and now maybe you should. Well, and for those that didn't, pay attention to what Vinny's up to. Like, listen.
So, I mean, with my channel, I built my channel off Rideshare, trying to help people, right? But I was never a drama queen about it, you know. And I was always, and I'm always
never, as we joke, never a guru clown.
Never a fucking guru. I'll never be a goddamn guru. I ain't trying to sell nobody no courses or do this, that. Well, I will say this though, we did have coffee mugs at one time. I did have coffee mugs at one time, and I still got mine in there. I use it every day.
I had coffee mugs too. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So the deal is, I'm transitioning my main channel, the Vinny Cuz channel. I'm learning to trade the markets. I'm learning financials. I'm learning this shit they don't teach you in high school, Steve. And I've been out of high school 40 years, bro.
Yeah.
Be a long time, bro. It's 40 years. 40 years this year I'm out of high school. Anyway. And so, but transitioning that channel with all the change of YouTube, you're counting. I seen you over there counting.
Well, because I'm not far behind you. I was trying to figure out how far I was out.
I saw you counting. People don't realize it, bro. I'm an old
it's not like we're that far apart, though. Really,
I'm 50. I'll be 58 in August, man. I'm an old man,
and I'll be 54 next month.
You see what? Happy birthday to you. Anyway, I'll send it to you in a postcard like you do. You know, with the little woman doing her dance on the thing. Yeah. Anyway, we all know what YouTube did, right? If you got a YouTube channel, we all know YouTube just did the big overall on their platforms. So a lot of, in my case, I was getting hurt, all right, on that channel. And I wanted to see if I could transition this channel into something else. I didn't want to just do Rideshare anymore. Steve, I was getting sick, like physically sick.
I know you were, and
I've got my other issue there, right?
You know, some other,
I would wake up the next morning. I'd tell my wife, I can't do this shit no more. I can't do it no more. I was becoming a miserable. All Rideshare was doing was beating people down, not just me.
Yeah. No.
And then when you come together on the garage, man, I love the garage. I've had the garage around since 2017, 2016 when I started on Apple iTunes, right? And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Anchor was the name of the software I was using on the phone. I'd sit there with a wired thing and I'd fucking talk my stuff, and that would be that. The point is that it got toxic for me, you know. And I was talking with Sergio every other week, and you know he would come on the show, and he's a great guy. Don't get me wrong, I got nothing against Sergio. You know, I like Sergio. I like Chris. They're really good personnel. I ain't got no love for Harry, but that's got nothing to do with Sergio and Chris. Right? Listen, Harry won the thing by default, right? Anyway, that's a whole nother show. We could talk about that's a whole nother show.
No, I've known Harry for
he's all right, I guess. You know,
I'm neutral about it because I understand
he's the other guy.
Listen, from the first day I met him, he's the same person he is now. That's
okay. That's cool.
Say. That's what I can say. He never hid to be like.
No, he's never said anything wrong to me. He's just said, I don't know. Him and I wouldn't vibe together. Let's just put it there. It's nothing bad. It's just we wouldn't vibe. The point is that I'm trying to transition that channel. So I started a new channel, Tesla Rideshare, because I love my Tesla.
Yeah.
And I said 2 years ago when I first got it, 2.5 years ago, when I first rented the Model Y from DriveWhip, that was the way to go. That was the transition. Then a year ago when I got my own, oh my God, the amount of money I've saved. Like, I don't have to kill myself out there anymore trying to maintain the Cadillac, right? Because Cadillac's high-end expensive while the rates keep getting chopped. So anyway, Tesla Rideshare, that's my channel. It's 500 plus subs on it. I do a little video every week, every other week. I have some fun on the channel. Vinny Cuz is more like, okay, I'm trading and talking shit at the same time. I'm letting people see the good, the bad, and the ugly that I'm going through while I'm learning to trade.
Yes.
While also working the Amazon influencer program and trying to develop these streams of income. It's not like I'm sitting up there and I'm saying, Steve, do what I do. No, Steve, if you watch, this is the way I trade the same.
This audience, the podcast audience, audio, and all the platforms that I'm on, they know this is not you're not going to get sold snake oil here.
Absolutely. But you know what? How many channels do though?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the other part of it that was toxic. How many other channels? That's what they do.
Oh,
they sell you drama. They want to be a drama fucking queen all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
they don't even have a stance. They don't even have a stance anymore. They take the stance this week, and then the next week they're the opposite.
Your buddy over there in St. Louis. You know what I mean? Your buddy in St. Louis.
Yeah,
you know, he's another one. You know, it's just like
he's not my buddy, but yeah.
You know what I mean, bro. I'm trying to ruffle the feather. I'm trying to the feathers a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. Torp, get him, Torp. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing, right? I'm trading every morning, but I'm transitioning that channel. I've been doing a lot of work to that channel. Let me tell you, anybody who's into YouTube, Steve, how many videos you figure you got on YouTube right now on this channel?
About maybe 1,300.
Okay. So imagine having to go through all of those videos one by one and recategorizing them and moving it from this to that to a legacy playlist or to unlisting or to do this. I'm Steve Sweat. Okay, Greg Wise, you got it, buddy.
He is in St. Louis too, though.
Oh, bro, I didn't know that. My bad.
Yeah.
So bad. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. So the Off the Clock podcast, I was talking with Steve the other night, and I try to take that into a different direction. And it's very hard with trying to get the audience to buy into, hey, there's more to life than gig apps.
Yeah,
but people don't. But think about, Steve, how many people have been beat down? And the gig apps have beat them down so much that they went from, oh, this is a cool, cute little side hustle to, dude, this is the only way I can pay my bills. They don't have time to do nothing else. They don't have time to learn how to trade or learn how to, cut dovetails in a drawer.
But I would argue that maybe something isn't for everybody, but there's enough. I know too many drivers, so I know there's enough downtime in most people's day to be doing something, learning something else in your wasted time when you're waiting for something.
Again, how many drivers, whether it's delivery or rideshare, whatever it is, actually have, and I know, and the chat knows, what you used to make in 6-7 hours 3 years ago, now it takes you 10 hours to make. Your expenses are up. And your expenses are up. Yeah. And your expenses are up.
Because your optimization rate's even more down though. So like if you go out for 10 hours, you're out for 5. I still have people who read me what they made hourly on active time.
It's
and
crazy.
I'm like, dude, wow.
It's crazy.
Like, dude, if you still don't understand that concept, like if you walked out your door and you walked in your door 10 hours later, you were gone for 10 hours and all you did was gig apps, you worked 10 hours. If your active time is 5, you did not work 5, you worked 10.
Yes, sir. But people don't understand that because they're conditioned differently. I always said, bro, I'm not trying to hold you up, but I always say the worst thing our parents ever taught us, really, and it wasn't their fault because that's what they were taught, was to go to school, get a good education so you can get a good job. When it should have been, go to school, get a good education so you can start your own business. Because the more we teach our kids and the more we were raised to go get, I graduated in 1986. I was pretty good in my class. Okay. I was good, right? Honors. The only thing I knew about financials when I got out of fucking high school was how to balance a checkbook. That was it.
Yeah.
That was the extent. That was the but I can make a butterfly on MS DOS go across a computer screen. I mean, that took a whole fucking semester to learn. But financially speaking, all they taught us was how to balance a checkbook.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the sad reality. That's it.
They forgot to tell our generation how important it would be to, I mean, but like for me, growing up in Michigan, they forgot to tell us that, hey, it would be really important if you take Spanish. It's like, they were like, we do offer it, but you should probably not even bother. That's just,
man. I tell you something, bro. If you don't know me by now, baby, you know I can see you, right? Hey, Aldele. And bro, so down here in Miami, you had to learn Spanglish, and you better learn. You better understand, the how to take, into context whatever somebody's trying to say.
I was just gonna say, when I lived down there, not only I was always with a partner that knew Spanish fluently, was from Argentina, but the dialect of the different Spanish,
different.
Dude, you can offend somebody with a single word.
100%. You get somebody from Puerto Rico and you say something to them and they're like loving you. You say that same exact phrase to somebody from Cuba and they're kicking your ass.
Right. 100%. Or you go down to like Little Haiti to catch a show at night.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, like, those people like totally speak differently too and take a lot as a threat. It's like, I'd be like, I want a drink. They'd be like, what'd you say to me? Like the bartender.
Yep.
I want a drink.
Bro, and down here we got everybody, right? I always say the beautiful thing about
you're the
South
melting
Florida,
pot for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We got more diversity in South Florida than any other place in the country. Now, if they could learn how to all drive at the same time, that would be nice. That would be nice. Yeah. But you got to deal with it, dude.
So I thought you had a third too. Just the 2 channels are your promotion?
I do have it. No, I actually was running 4 channels at one time. I still have it. So I was running a channel called Just Ask Grok, where I would have a conversation with Grok. When I would drop the wife off in the morning where I was taking her, and then I would turn on my camera. See, little camera here, right? That's all you need, bro. That's all you need. Turn on the camera, open up Grok in the car, and I would have a conversation. And we would talk about everything from government bullshit to healthcare bullshit, to racism, to all of that shit, and that was early stages of Grok. But I don't do much with that anymore because people on YouTube have taken AI into a whole different space. Everybody's trying to sell you something on fucking YouTube. Ain't nobody trying to help you. They're trying to sell you. And
what is just out of curiosity, in case nobody else has played with it, what's Dirty Grok called or whatever?
Oh, Unhinged. Unhinged. Bro,
you guys Vinny showed me some stuff. If you guys haven't played with this, go check it out.
Bro, listen, Grok you can get for free. Grok has like 9 different personalities. If you need a therapist and somebody to talk to, you can talk to Grok. If you need to feel a little, how can I say, a little romantic, it has a sexy mode. It has an assistant mode. It has a tutor mode. You need to learn languages. And then it's got Unhinged.
Which was wild, the little bit I heard, dude.
Unhinged is like Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Red Fox, and pick whoever else you want times 20. Bro, one time it told me that Elon Musk was having sex anally with a driving iron with the head up his butt. I'll never forget that. Not in those words. It was a heck of a lot more not YouTube friendly, buddy. I don't want to cost you your monetization here.
Sure.
But I use Grok and I use Gemini a lot. I mean, I've really got my buddy Pascal. My buddy Pascal is all into it. And then my last channel is buy or bust reviews, product reviews. So I repurpose probably about half of my Amazon video reviews I do, right, onto YouTube. And then I try to catch those reviews. I put links to Amazon or whatnot in there. That's a whole nother thing YouTube is doing. That they've got that all messed up too. YouTube shopping, right? Yeah. They're trying to do what Amazon.
Oh, I honestly, I was in my studio. I don't even understand how it works.
It's not hard, but what you earn on commissions is terrible.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
No, again, I mean, I just didn't even understand like what it would show me like 2 at the bottom. And
Yeah,
I'd
so
touch
say-
them, and it would be like select products, and then there was no way to do it. But they were also suggesting things of which I'm like, I would never suggest this.
No,
shit.
but you see your microphone, right? Your
Yeah.
your voice is really good. Your voice is
Yeah.
really good. Your audio is. Mine sucks. I got to fix that. But your microphone is linked to your audio. So if you at the end of this video, you go back into edit, you hit products, you type in your microphone, it'll pop up.
Okay.
Somebody is selling that microphone. And then
Yeah.
you just link it up, and then if one of your readers, Lord have mercy, one of your viewers sees that and they're like, "Oh man, Steve is putting me to sleep with that very white voice of his. I know it's the microphone. Let me click on this and buy this microphone." You get a small piece of them. You get a small piece.
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
pie.
It's like Amazon,
But Amazon's 10 times better.
right? But I
just-
mean, it's that same theory. It's
Yeah, it's the same thing.
So
So that's what I do. I've got the 4 channels. I'm using 3. I'm rebuilding Vinny Cuz, which is going to take a minute. It's not easy. I gotta retrain the algorithm. Is basically
will the Wednesday night, at least for the foreseeable future,
for the next 3 weeks, it's going to be off the air because again, the only way you can retrain the algorithm, when I tell you I've torn my channel apart, I don't have 1,300 videos, but I got 600 plus videos, plus a shit ton of live streams. So I have to go through it. I go through, like 50 of them a day, in amongst all the other bullshit I'm doing, trying to get this channel lined back up to try to get it to grow. The only person I know, well, no, you know him, Hannibal. Hannibal is hungry, successfully transitioned his channel.
Oh yeah,
Jeff
Jeff's
Uber
doing
Jeep
pretty
AZ
good.
has
Jeff's doing pretty good
transitioned
with it,
his
too.
channel. I meant to reach out and tell him, hey, what's
Jeff
up?
is, by the way, for those that don't know, Jeff is crushing it on TikTok.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But
He's
got the personality
insane
for it.
on TikTok. Yeah.
He's got the personality for it. But that's the thing where, like, our viewers, they think what we do is like something hard. It's not hard. You just got to keep it honest, keep it real, keep it authentic. And if their algorithm likes you, here's one for you. When you get a chance, you guys go check out FSD Delivery Girl. She's a brand new channel. She's got like 600-700 subs right now, right? I've watched her videos. She's doing delivery in a brand new Tesla where the Tesla does all the driving. She's already got sponsorship deals. People sending her shit to try to, sell it out. And she's not even at 1,000 subs. And I promise you, she's making bank. But here's the other part to that. She's an attractive woman. She's a young woman. She's attractive. And what do guys like? They like to simp on people like that. Steve, your wig and my wig ain't going to work, bro. It ain't going to work. We would have to do something like this. Okay. I'm doing a shock jock. I'm going to, okay. That ain't going to work. Now, if I ride around like this all day with another one on this side, then it'd be like, oh, look at that. Vinny's okay. I can watch that. But no, that's not my style.
Yeah.
That's Tony's style. Tony, I know you're listening. No, I love you, brother.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna
it's tough.
Vinny's this one that's right below me is already in the description, but I'll put his other ones too, so you guys can check them out.
Listen, I appreciate it.
But I mean, honestly, people scroll across and they want to see. You never know what you might click with, though. And then if somebody clicks with it, it ends up in their feed, and it does cross the feeds a little bit. I still believe that happens. So,
are your numbers improving now?
Yeah.
Good.
They definitely, when last we talked, they were just starting to. I mean, they're not cranking by any means. They're doing things they used to, but they were flat for a while. They weren't going down or up. They were just
flat.
Yeah.
So what I've noticed, and because I remember I sent you a couple of times when I put out a banger video and the CTR and all that was way up there, 22%, 24% CTR, and only 100 views. This is what I've learned on the Tesla channel. It takes 48 hours before the numbers start clicking up. For me, that first 24 hours, I could just throw it away. Don't even bother. Don't even. All I'm going to do is get mad. I'm going to want to quit and go become a TikToker like Jeff. You know what I mean? But
you guys,
thank God I don't need a new trainee in my van.
I was just gonna say it to him because Tim and I are friends, and we have this joke. What's up, pea sucker? I was gonna say that, dude, one tranny in your van's already one tranny too many.
Hey. I got nothing to do with that.
There you go,
That's cool.
YouTube algorithm like that. Just kidding.
Oh, certain keywords. Hey, you want to, you know what I'm finding?
I'm talking about transmission, obviously.
Yeah, of course. You know what I'm finding? I'm finding that the first 30 seconds, if I put the right words in the first 30 seconds, my CPM on my trading videos that maybe get 20 or 30 views, right?
Yeah.
The CPM number is $105. I can send you screenshots of $45 CPMs, $113 CPM.
Wow.
Because of what I say in the first 30 seconds. There's no views.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see me trade yet. They're not, that's not what they go to Vinny Cuz for. They go for Vinny Cuz so they can see Steve come on the off the clock.
Right.
podcast.
And YouTube isn't pushing it out as what it is now.
That's why it's transitioning.
Yes.
That's why I gotta, Jeff's made the transition. Uberman, Randy Shear. He was the first guy to really do it. Right? He's auto auction rebuilds. And then Hannibal. I watched Hannibal's video the other day. Bro, he is swinging.
Dude, Hannibal by the way, he put a community post up that you guys should all go see because even he was proud. Hannibal and I are good friends, and even he was proud because he was like, thank you guys so much for that. He put out a video on, I think it was the new governor of Virginia. What's her name? But yeah, regardless, it was, he's the governor destroyer now.
Oh, yeah.
Or the
governor, mayor.
political destroyer, or whatever,
He's so good at it, bro.
He 268,000 views in one day, and NBC, CBS, ABC all had like an equivalent size video. All of them under 100.
Yeah,
he's doing triple what the broadcast companies are doing.
Listen, here's the bottom line, right? Here's the bottom line. If you're going to get on YouTube and you're going to do YouTube, don't come to YouTube to make money. Come to YouTube to do what you're meant to do. What you do,
if you don't like it or love it, or you're not passionate about what you're doing, it's going to fail anyway.
It shouldn't do it. Right. Exactly.
It's just, you're going to give up, one or the other.
What you do is important to the community, bro. Keep it going. Don't
keep it going. I'm not going to change my channel.
And did you get the latest firmware on Light Jockey?
No.
I'm joking, bro. Light Jockey. Come on, Light Jockey.
I'm not playing it anymore.
That's your world, bro. I slung the 2 tons up in the ceilings, okay? It was your job to make them dance. Y'all don't know that. Steve and I got connections way beyond this shit.
We got friends in low places.
Oh, shit.
You guys, that's a wrap for the week. This was awesome having Vinny. Always fun having Vinny. I'm going to have to go back through this and do like a reaction to all the comments because I missed a bunch because I was so focused on the conversation. I saw you guys were having your own too. So, but Vinny's on his channel. I'm on this. We're on X and we're on LinkedIn. And we carried a lot of viewers tonight. We were at height. We were at 75 and we didn't drop below 60 until about 20 minutes ago.
My bad, dude. I'm sorry.
No, what do you mean? It's great.
I apologize.
I'm saying that's a lot of people. I mean, LinkedIn had double digits. That doesn't always happen. That's awesome. People are watching over there.
Your topics, bro. Your topics were real, man. That people are affected by this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping that over there, even investors are seeing it and going, wait a minute, what the hell? I didn't know all this.
Well, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. I got it. Steve, I got to do this. Can I go online still? All right. Uber didn't throw me off the app yet for being on the Rideshare Rodeo.
Maybe I should check, huh? Should I see if I have a ding too, guys? Because I mean,
well,
you never know.
Curry might have threw you $100 bonus. You didn't know it.
Yeah. Let's see. We got friends in low place. There it is. I'm on. It's all good.
There you go. We're all on. Yes.
Although now they just marked us and they just know we went anyway.
Listen,
you guys,
I'm still thankful for Uber, even through all the bullshit. I'm still thankful.
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. My biggest fight is still for transparency, but it's the illegals that all the lawmakers want to talk about. So that's what I'm doing, and then I'll shove the transparency down their throat after.
Oh, yeah. Listen,
but
you get
they
the
want to
illegals
deal
off.
with this first, and it is the biggest issue. So
you get the illegals off. I'll come wash your car. Yep. I'll even go down to the local parts store. What do y'all got up there? Advanced Auto, Riley's. What do y'all got up there?
Both.
What's your local? Both. All right.
Yeah.
So they both. I'll see which one's cheaper on the Armor All, and I'll shine the tires too, man. You're right through that mud, right through that snow and mud up there. I do not miss the slush, bro. I am not gonna lie.
You guys, thank you all for joining us. Until next time, be safe, earn smart, and be good out there. Peace, y'all.